Broadcasting live from the ESPN Radio Winchester studios. Diving into what the internet can't stop talking about. It's time for Trending Tuesday on Franklin County's favorite morning show. The starting lineup, fueled by Loco Coffee. And now for your hosts, Joe Abraham and Chewy.
And good morning, and welcome into the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester. I am Joe Abraham, and it is Franklin County's favorite way to wake up and get their morning started. And I recommend you do it like we do it here on a Trending Tuesday with a little bit of Loco Coffee in your hand. I am Joe Abraham, along with Chewy this morning. And we got a good one for you here on a Trending Tuesday. How is the Wookiee this morning?
I'm all right. How about you?
I'm doing all right.
It's good to hear.
It's a little dark in that cave of yours. No, you're fine. You can leave it off. I'm looking at the video from here. I can see you. Really makes no difference whether the light is on or off.
Yeah, I don't mind this. I used to be like directly under the light.
Yeah.
But this is kind of nice.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, somebody who is also under the light this morning. I keep getting text messages. I keep getting pictures sent to me from Brett Crabtree.
Oh, yeah.
And he is he's sharing with me that he's wearing his starting lineup hat like all over the Southeast on this trip that he is on.
That's cool of him.
With his family, yeah. But I'm really getting sick and tired of him sending me pictures from the beach. So I doubt we'll really hear from him much today, at least for his sake. I hope not. I hope he's got better things to do than tune in to the starting lineup. Not many better things. But when you're on vacation with the family, you get a reprieve.
Sure.
You get to step away. So it is a Trending Tuesday. Today on the show, we will also have Rob Kortner in studio in hour number 2. But you can get involved in the show, and I encourage you to do so. You can call the show by dialing in at 931-967-3500, Chewy. Not something that a lot of people take advantage of these days. You can text the show at 931-305-5611. That's great if you want to be anonymous. Or if you want to really get into it, and I mean really wade into it with us and have a lot of fun, head on over to the Facebook page, Facebook.com/ESPN Winchester, and you can pull up the live stream and see us in studio, broadcasting from the now they're Palacious-ish.
Palacious.
From the Palacious Studios. We need a studio sponsor. Like from the Palacious Crabtree Group Studios.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I like it.
I also like that.
But you can see us broadcasting straight from, and you can jump into the chat and converse with us directly as the show goes on. Now, Chewy, yesterday, I kind of waded into something. I stumbled into a conversation that I didn't expect to really take off the way that it did. By the end of the day, though, I realized what we were talking about, the question that we were asking, was something pretty big. And it wasn't really about a single board member in Casey Roberts. It was about what we expect from the leadership here in the county, in Franklin County. I think that we immediately jump to who's right, who's wrong. Should somebody resign? Should somebody not be a board member? Should somebody get voted out? I'm not there. That's not where I'm at. What I am trying to do is understand what we expect from our leadership. I think that everybody would agree right now that one of the biggest issues, probably the single biggest issue facing Franklin County schools right now, is enrollment. We have lost a ton of students. And over the last 15 years, the chart that I keep getting sent from people is the one from David Eldridge's kind of review that shows over the last 15-ish years, it has equated to $9 million annually in funding from the state that should be going to the school district. And these kids are leaving. They're going to other neighboring districts. They're going to private schools. They're going to homeschooling. And every student that leaves takes funding with them. Now, before we dive into this further, I would like to say, and I would like to respond to some people who have reached out and said, while this is true, if you only focus on the negative, Joe, then people are going to only think that there's something wrong with the school district. I'm not saying that there is something inherently wrong with the school district as it stands today. There are challenges with our school district, the same as there are challenges with any school district. And in fact, I think that the positive momentum that our school district is carrying right now is like unmatched. Not just from an athletic standpoint. I think that people are paying attention. I think that people are getting involved. People are caring. And it's not on the back burner. It's at the forefront of pretty much everything that is going on in the county right now. And I'm excited about where the school district is at. So much so that I think that kids leaving is a disservice to those kids. If you're a parent right now and you have a kid in the school district and you're considering moving your student or your student athlete to another school outside of the Franklin County School District, you need to very much so think long and hard about that. My personal opinion is it would that would be making a mistake right now. Because I think in the next few years, very soon, the Franklin County School District is going to really make some strong strides to becoming one of the elite school districts in the region. I truly believe that. Based on where we're at now, based on the trajectory, I don't see it slowing down under its new leadership. And yes, I said elite. And there are student athletes even who are leaving for opportunities to go play, what they perceive as opportunities to go play at other schools, because they feel like those opportunities are better. I would also pause. It's unfortunate because we've lost some here lately. Some really good athletes who I think are going to regret that decision. And unfortunately, we're going to miss them from the programs. But I digress. We've lost a lot of students over the last 15 years, Chewy. And every student that leaves, they take with them funding, which changes staffing, which changes programming. And it's not controversial. Those are facts. That's where we're at right now. It's not me being mean or being overly critical. So if job one right now is focusing on enrollment, then what responsibility does a school board member have in helping reverse the trend that was set in place? That's where the leadership comes in. How do we stop that trend and not only, fill the hole, stop the boat from leaking, but now we got to start bailing water. We got to start making positive momentum. I don't think that our school board members are just policy makers. Personally, I think that they are, to a certain extent, ambassadors. I hesitate to use the word recruiters, but they are the public face of the district. And when somebody asks, how are Franklin County schools? I think that the board members' responsibility starts before they even open their mouth. Their answer starts before they even say anything. It starts with the choices that they're making for their own children. So, again, I understand that everybody has to make the best decision for their family. I understand that they've got to make the best decision for their children. But if the people governing Franklin County schools don't choose Franklin County schools, how are they going to convince everybody else to? And that's the question that I'm asking here today. That's the question. If the people in charge of the Franklin County School District don't even choose Franklin County schools for their own kids, how are they going to convince everybody else to? It's like when you got your parents growing up, Chewy, and they're like, don't do as I do, do as I say.
Yeah.
That's not a great argument. And I've spent a lot of the last 24 hours thinking about this. And here's what I discovered as well. So yesterday we talked primarily about Casey Roberts and the fact that her kids don't attend Franklin County schools. There's another board member, again, two out of the 8 board members whose children do not attend Franklin County schools. Sarah Marhefsky's kids, I am told by multiple sources, also do not attend a Franklin County school.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
We'll talk about it more. What is the deeper issue here? When we come back, it is the starting lineup. You're tuned into ESPN Radio 1340, 106.9 WCDT Winchester.
When it comes to beef, the smartest way to buy is straight from the source. At Max Meat Processing, you can stock your freezer with whole, half, or quarter beef, saving money while getting premium, locally raised meat you can trust. No additives, no preservatives, just real beef. And if bulk isn't an option, no problem. Max Meat Market has you covered by the pound. Max Meat Processing, your hometown source for quality beef.
If your life depended on the mission succeeding, what would you care about? Would you care about the demographics of the crew? The Moon does not care about your politics, doesn't care about your hashtags, it does not care about where you lie on social media arguments, it doesn't care whether you're male or female or black or white or rich or poor or conservative or liberal or religious or atheist or anything else, because reality does not negotiate. It just is. You can disagree with the facts, but they don't care about your feelings. It is a starting lineup. Thank you for tuning in. This is ESPN Radio Winchester.
From the 931 Weather Center, it's time for an ESPN Winchester weather update. Be prepared, everybody. It's going to be a very, very hot day today. A high of 95 degrees, but our heat index values are going up all the way to 104. There's going to be some light, calm wind, but otherwise very, very hot. Stay safe and stay tuned to ESPN Radio Winchester.
This is Dale from Columbus, previously from the Paul Feinbaum Show.
Check in scissor hands. I'm the wrong guy to ask, but what's the secret to a good haircut?
A good haircut makes you feel confident. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you get that haircut, you're going to walk out that barbershop, you're going to look in the mirror, and you're going to be like, yeah, that's it. And you're going to tip the barber.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and on the SEC network.
Joe had to mix up some more pre-workout, but he's ready to go another round. Back to the starting lineup. This is ESPN Radio Winchester.
Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340, 1069 WCDT, Winchester, Joe Abraham, and Chewy. On a trending Tuesday, you can get involved in the show. Jump in on the FMO Facebook feed. Be like Brett, except for today, because Brett is on vacation. So,
Or, go on vacation. Yeah.
well, that too. I want to be like Brett. I want to go to the beach.
We all should be like Brett right now.
Chewy, the other day yesterday I was telling you guys about how Walter stuck his arm through a plate glass window and cut his arm all up. Yesterday, I get home, and Katie she was making dinner. I think she was frying up some chicken or something like that, and she decided that she wanted to fry up her forearm as well.
Oh, God.
Yeah, her whole, I think I don't know. It's either her right hand or her left hand, one of the two hands.
Yeah.
She, a piece of chicken, there was a big bubble in the pan, and she was flipping the chicken, and it came up and splashed her, and she got hot oil all over her, wrist and hand. Oh.
Good Lord.
Yeah, her whole wrist and hand is, bubbling up with a big old, blister. Yeah. It's nasty. All right, so.
The heck's happening at your house?
I don't know.
You're next.
I'm going to stay away from there, I think.
Yeah, you're going to stay. Yeah, you're going to take a nap here.
All right, so here's the thing. To get back into this, I want to spend one more segment on this, and then I want to switch gears because there's something else I want to get into this morning on a trending Tuesday. There's a song that's trending around town that I want to talk about. But I do want to finish some thoughts on this whole school board situation thing. All right. So maybe these are outstanding board members. Maybe they're doing a fantastic job. But they've got kids attending schools that are not Franklin County schools. And if they're doing a fantastic job, why have they made educational decisions for their kids outside of the district that they're governing? Now, Casey Roberts jumped in and she said, well, I would like, yesterday she jumped in and she said, I would like it known, essentially, that the law states that I cannot work in the same school district that I am on the board in, which is understandable. But that doesn't mean that your kids need to go to the different school district. And it also doesn't mean that you need to be a board member. Which brings me to the other question that I have is maybe they're simply the best people willing to serve. And that's probably the most likely thing. But if that's true, why? Why aren't more Franklin County parents and individuals stepping up to serve? Why aren't more people whose children attend Franklin County schools running for the board? Why is our bench so thin, so to speak? We don't have any more depth? We don't have anybody else? But I don't know which answer is more of a problem. That our leaders choose a different district for their kids or a different school solution for their kids, or that we don't have enough people willing to lead the district. What does that say about us as a community, not them as individuals? Honestly, we need more people like them willing to serve, but what does that say about us as a community? We have become spectators We complain, but we never run. We criticize, but we never volunteer. We expect somebody else to fix everything. So it's not about throwing rocks at these people. It's about looking in the mirror. I have reached out to Casey Roberts and invited her to come in and speak. I'm going to reach out to Sarah Marhefsky as well and invite her to come in and speak, as well as anybody. Honestly, any school board member, the door is always open. The director, Dr. Alsip, who takes over tomorrow, comes in on a regular basis. There are parents who have left the district. There are parents who choose to stay. There are parents who homeschool. If you've got comments on this, I encourage you to jump in. If you've got thoughts, get involved.
Anthony Engel jumped in saying, because it's easier to sit back and complain than it is easier than it is to be a change.
It is. It certainly is. And I know that, what is it, $325 a month that they make as, school board members. It's not leading anybody to the school board. It's not going to be life-changing money and probably not worth the headaches. Johnny Hand always said that the stipend doesn't cover the cost of the Tylenol and Tums and his phone bill that, for being a county commissioner. And I get that. But it's investing in the kids. It's investing in the future of the community. And I want to end this conversation by saying this. If you know me and if you know what we believe in here at the station and what we're trying to do, then you'll know my entire goal, my entire mission with these conversations is not to tear the Franklin County School Board, school district down. If you think that that is my goal, you're sadly mistaken. My ultimate goal, and anybody who has worked with us knows this from the school level, is to make us the best. And to do that is very uncomfortable at times. And it encourages people to look in the mirror. It challenges people. It challenges my wife and I. It challenges our staff. There are a lot of days where we would just rather not. And I get that. I get that feeling. But somebody has to be banging the drum that we can be better, that we can get better, that we are never done. And the moment that you stop and think that you've made it, the moment that you stop making positive progress, you start making negative progress. You start going backwards. You're either getting better or you're getting worse every day. That's what I truly believe in. And I believe in that as a district as well. Right now, we are getting better every day. And we should continue to look for opportunities to do that. If you think we have made it, all of the sudden, you are sadly mistaken. And Dr. Alsop will tell you that, and every teacher in this community will tell you that. There is work to be done. Every year, all of the time and effort that's invested in these kids is reset. Every year, we've got a new group of kids that we've got to prepare to be the future of this community. And we are making positive strides. But now is not the time to stop pushing. So I'm not saying that we are in a bad way or that these people are not bad leaders. What I'm saying is, where do the opportunities lie to get better? And I know this, the biggest issue facing Franklin County schools right now is enrollment. And so we owe it to the community to have an honest conversation about what our leadership looks like in this regard. I am less interested in judging the decisions that these board members are making. I am more interested in understanding what those decisions say about the district that they were elected to lead and the why behind them. That's where I'm at. All right. Chewy.
Yes.
Have you heard any good music lately?
This morning, actually, I did. I got a message from you in the middle of the night, and I walked in today and heard a very interesting song made by a robot.
All right. When we come back in the next segment, we'll spend some time talking about something that happened yesterday in the sheriff's race. A campaign song that is floating around social media, text messages, and I got to tell you, when I heard this thing, I cringed so very hard.
It was a strange decision, especially when there's like really talented musicians around town.
Well, and you know, I'm less about that as much as I am about the content within it.
That too, you know, word choice. Now, this isn't like an officially sanctioned thing, though, I don't think, right?
Right.
Okay, so they did not sign off on this.
Well, Charles Keller came out and stated, like, he disavowed the whole thing.
Got you. Yeah.
Said that it wasn't
about him, or wasn't made by him or anyone like him.
But we're going to take a second. If you haven't heard it, consider yourself lucky. You know, it's just one of these things. It's not about, everybody has the right to support whoever they want. You know, if you think that it's time for new leadership, that's your vote. And I've said from day one, my job is not to tell you how to vote. My job is to help you make an informed decision. And it's not about who supports Charles Keller or who supports Tim Fuller. We're going to talk about this on the other side, and I'll tell you what about it upset me the most. We'll do that next. It is the starting lineup. You're tuned into ESPN Radio 1340, 1069 WCDT Winchester.
When we hear drug-endangered children, we may picture extreme situations, but substance misuse can affect any child through unsafe environments, unsecured medications, or even impaired driving. Protecting children is everyone's responsibility. The Franklin County Prevention Coalition partners with schools and law enforcement to raise awareness and provide tools that keep kids safe. Because when we work together to protect our children, we are stronger together. Learn more at fcpctn.org/DEC. This project is funded under a grant contract with the State of Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
No two patients are alike. High Point Health with Ascension St. Thomas delivers care centered around your health, your goals, your story, your recovery. From routine checkups to critical procedures, we use today's medical technology and advanced clinical practices to help you feel better, recover faster, and return home to the community you love. We don't just specialize in care, we specialize in you. Learn more at highpointhealthsystem.com.
Before the fireworks light up the sky, there's a part of the 4th of July we all know well. Getting the food ready, setting out the chairs, chasing the kids, and trying to beat that Tennessee heat. As America celebrates 250 years, Danley Heating and Air hopes your holiday is filled with laughter, family, and a few moments to sit back and enjoy it all. From Danley Heating and Air, have a safe, cool, and happy 4th of July.
It's time for a local news break from the 931 Go News Center.
An investigation by the Estill Springs Police Department has resulted in a lengthy prison sentence in a 2025 burglary and arson case. Charles Leon Tressel has pled guilty to 2 counts of aggravated burglary and 2 counts of attempted aggravated arson. Following his guilty plea, Tressel was sentenced to serve 20 years in the Tennessee Department of Corrections. Police say the conviction stems from a series of incidents investigated last year. Chief Matthew Baker praised the work of fire investigator and officer Clint Grant, Sergeant Ashley Murphy, and prosecutors with the 12th Judicial District, saying their dedication and investigative efforts help secure the successful outcome and hold a dangerous offender accountable. Meanwhile, aviation enthusiasts are invited to celebrate Independence Day at Winchester Municipal Airport. EAA Chapter 699 will host its monthly pancake breakfast on Saturday, July 4th at the Winchester Airport. Organizers are inviting both local residents and visiting pilots to stop by for pancakes and coffee. The event is weather permitting and is held on the first Saturday of each month. Airport officials remind visitors that the main terminal remains closed during the ongoing restoration project. Those driving to the airport may park near the terminal and walk across the ramp or enter through the gate to the left of the terminal and park at the EAA building. Fuel services remain available throughout the construction period. Airport officials also remind pilots that runway 1836 remains open during daylight hours, although nighttime operations continue to be affected by a temporary lighting issue while repairs are underway. Visitors are encouraged to check current flight information before arriving. For more details on these stories and more, visit 931go.com. Stay informed and stay connected to your community with ESPN Radio Winchester.
This is ESPN Radio Winchester, where Franklin County comes to life. From local news and athletics to everything in between, we're proud to bring you the stories that matter right here at home. And it's all made possible by local businesses connecting with real people in our community every single day. When you support them, you support our local coverage. Over 75 years of Franklin County heritage. Want your business to be a part of it? Contact WCDT today. ESPN Radio Winchester. Franklin County plays here.
You're listening to the starting lineup, fueled by Loco Coffee, on ESPN Radio 1340, 1069, WCDT, Winchester.
Back here on the starting lineup, trending Tuesday, ESPN Radio 1340, 1069, WCDT, Winchester. And one of the things that was trending yesterday was a song that came out. It was an interesting song made with a program called Suno, which is an AI platform where you can put some prompts in, Chewy, and it'll create music for you.
Yeah, we've played with it a little bit. You know, it's sort of a toy in some cases.
Yeah.
You know.
Apparently, some folks up in Nashville play with it too.
Yeah. Some people
Sounds like some of the music that they write these days.
Yeah, some people are getting exposed using it.
Well, what disappointed me about this song, and if you've heard it, it's not about the politics that disappoint me. It was more about the disrespect.
Yeah.
So the lyrics talk about the deputies, it talks about the sheriff's office, it talks about Tim Fuller, paints everything, paints everything like it's terrible. But here are some of the words from the song. We need a new sheriff, that's what they say. They're wasting our tax dollars. It's for our own good, they say. When you need a good feller, vote for Charles Keller. When we need a deputy, there's none to be found. And when they do find one, they turn it all around. They treat us like the criminal and jerk us around. It seems like our deputies are the youngest to be found. So aside from, I don't know, the fact that the song sounds like it was written by Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
Like I said,
It's like a Dr. Seuss diss track.
Well, let me start here, okay? I'm going to start here. Charles Keller came out yesterday evening and publicly said that the song was created without his knowledge. He did not approve it. It doesn't represent the kind of campaign that he wants to run. And I think that it's important to acknowledge that right off the top.
Yeah.
He said he didn't authorize it. He said he didn't ask for it. And he said that it's not the type of campaign that he wants. And that's good. That's exactly what he should say. Because campaigns are a reflection of leadership, and you don't control every supporter. You don't control every Facebook comment. You don't control every meme. The only thing that he can control in this case is how he responds. I thought that Charles handled that part correctly. At the same time, campaigns are often judged by the company that they keep. Fair or unfair, supporters become part of the public image of the campaign. And while candidates don't control every supporter or their Facebook posts or the videos that they make or the songs that they create, they do set the tone. What concerns me about this is, from a leadership standpoint, that this even got to this point where something like this would be released. Especially in a position that is such an important leadership position.
It's not a joke.
Well, think about if you are running that office and you have people under your leadership going off and doing things without your, I guess, permission.
Standards.
Your blessing, yeah. And then again, I go back to who are you surrounding yourself with? Here's what I'd like to do is I'd like to challenge everybody. You don't have to vote for Tim Fuller. You don't even have to like Tim Fuller. But you can, if you believe that 20 years is enough and you believe that Charles Keller will do a better job, that's fine. That's democracy. But the election should not be about tearing down Tim Fuller's legacy.
Right.
If Charles Keller and his supporters believe that he should be the next sheriff, then make the case for Charles Keller. Tell us what you will do better. Tell us where you'll take the department. Tell us what your vision is. Don't try and erase the last 20 years of history under Tim Fuller. And I bet that if we had Charles sitting here right now, and I'm not going to put words into his mouth, but he said it yesterday in his own comments, and he has talked about the respect that he has for Tim Fuller. And so if you are one of the folks out there who is simply supporting Charles Keller because you don't like Tim Fuller versus supporting Charles Keller because you think that Charles Keller is the future leadership of the county, you need to check yourself. Those are two very different things. Supporting Charles Keller because Charles Keller is the best option going forward at sheriff in your mind is one thing. Supporting anybody other than Tim Fuller is another. Because for the last 20 years, if somebody's gone missing, if drugs were destroying families, if somebody died, if somebody got hurt, if a child went missing, if a storm rolled through and there were injuries or tragedies or celebrations or impossible decisions to make, Tim Fuller carried all of that responsibility for the last 20 years. And you can believe that Tim Fuller's time is over while still recognizing 20 years of service. Those two things can still exist at the same time. I encourage you to respect the work that has been done, not just by one man, but by an entire office of deputies who put their life on the line each and every day while debating the future. You can debate the future of that office, but you sure as hell better respect the past. And I don't care if you're in law enforcement or not. I don't care if you know dirty secrets or not. I don't care. There should be a level of respect there. Now, has Tim Fuller or the deputies of the office made mistakes in the past? I'm sure they have. Have there been decisions that people will disagree with? Certainly. I'm not saying that people are perfect. I'm not saying that Tim has been perfect in that office, or that, and I'm not even supporting it. What I am saying is that the respect needs to go both ways here. You can disagree with those things, but don't confuse wanting change with disrespect for that office, disrespect for the service that's been put in. Those are two different things. If you believe Charles Keller is the future, then make your case for Charles Keller. And that's what I've been communicating with Charles and trying to get him in here. He thinks that I personally am biased towards Tim Fuller. And in fact, I have heard that the reason he hasn't committed to doing the debate is because he thinks that the station is biased towards Tim Fuller. The station is a platform, okay? That's all the station is. I've heard people say, oh, well, he doesn't want to do it. The Keller campaign doesn't want to do it because it's not going to reach anybody anyway. It'll only reach like 1,000 people. I'll tell you what, yesterday's show alone had 2,000 views on Facebook alone. We did the show last year about the school board thing. It reached over 17,000, 18,000 people just on Facebook alone. Had over 18,000 views. So don't disrespect me. This is our job. If you don't like it, fine. I'm trying to give all of the candidates, Troy Parsons Jr., Tim Fuller, Charles Keller, the platform. Period. End of story. We are still waiting to see if we can get Fuller to commit to doing this this debate thing.
You mean Keller?
Thank you. And as far as Keller goes, again, I'm not blaming him for that song coming out. But the people around him that want change need to check themselves. Because I'll tell you this much. You are going to be the reason that he loses that campaign, not me. If you keep behaving like this, it'll be you that costs him the sheriff's office, not me. And I have bent over backwards as far as this debate is concerned to remove every excuse. I've got a different moderator. I don't even have to be here. I don't care in that regard. What I care about is that people get a chance to hear and make the decision. And if you think that people have already made up their mind about how they're going to vote, then what's the problem here? Why not debate? If they've already made up their mind, you just... Debates do matter. People want to hear They want to hear from the candidates. They want to hear it without campaign ads, without the preparation, without the rumors. They just want to hear the answers to hard questions. The station is simply a platform. It's a microphone. The station doesn't ask questions. The station itself does not vote. We are just individuals. We are part of the community. I vote. Chewy votes. Katie votes. That's pretty much the extent. Daniel votes. That's pretty much the extent of the station as far as the people within it. But the station does not have a vote. I haven't endorsed anybody. Yeah, we got to sign up in our yard. I've said this over and over again. You know why we got to sign up in our yard? Because we got asked. We also have signs for both Stanley Bean and David Eldridge up in the front yard of the station because they asked. I don't care whether you are going to vote for Tim Fuller or Charles Keller or Troy Parsons Jr. I don't care. What I care is that Franklin County gets to hear them answer the same questions on the same platform, in the same setting. That's all I want from this, under the same rules. People keep asking me, has he confirmed yet? No, he hasn't. They want to blame me for it, that's fine. They want to write songs, that's fine. The invitation stands. The door is open. If you want to come in and talk about your platform, if you want to come in and debate, fine. I encourage you to do so. I encourage every one of these men to sit and debate one another. If you can't or won't, that says a lot. I think it's necessary. I think people want it. Stop blaming me for that. We're the platform. All right, we'll wrap up hour number 1 when we come back. Don't be disrespectful. If you're a supporter, one way or another, for Keller, Fuller, whoever, don't be disrespectful. It is the starting lineup, ESPN Radio, 1340, 1069, WCDT Winchester.
If your life depended on the mission succeeding, what would you care about? Would you care about the demographics of the crew? The moon does not care about your politics, doesn't care about your hashtags, it does not care about where you lie on social media arguments, it doesn't care whether you're male or female or black or white or rich or poor or conservative or liberal or religious or atheist or anything else, because reality does not negotiate. It just is. You can disagree with the facts, but they don't care about your feelings. It is a starting lineup. Thank you for tuning in. This is ESPN Radio Winchester.
For over 75 years, one thing has never changed in Winchester, Tennessee. Hall Furniture has been there through it all. 3 generations, decades of trust, and the commitment to quality, value, and service that still comes first today. As we celebrate over 75 years in business, we want to say thank you to our loyal customers, our community, and to everyone who has made Hall Furniture a Winchester tradition. Hall Furniture, here's to another 75 years of helping you make a house feel like home.
Why choose More Courtney Funeral Home? Well, they're a 5th-generation funeral home taking care of the people of Franklin County since 1905. They're committed to serving you, dedicated to providing personalized, professional, compassionate service to help lighten your burden and help you out during these difficult times. More Courtney Funeral Home, 300 First Avenue Northwest in Winchester, 967-2222. More Courtney Funeral Home.
Got a project to tackle or a party to plan? Skip the stress and rent it instead at Reliable Rental in Winchester. From tools and heavy-duty machines to chairs, tables, and event essentials, they've got what you need to get the job done right. Whether it's work or a weekend celebration, Reliable Rental makes it easy. Stop by 2433 Deckard Boulevard in Winchester or check out everything they offer online at ReliableRentalFC.com. Reliable Rental. When you need it, they've got it.
If your life depended on the mission succeeding, what would you care about? Would you care about
The future of healthcare starts here. The Southern Tennessee Regional Health System, Winchester and Swanee, are joining the High Point Health System with Ascension St. Thomas, a health network serving communities across the state. We're working together to expand access, improve clinical quality, and keep you close to home throughout your care journey. Your favorite providers aren't going anywhere. It's the same care you know and trust, now with a new name, High Point Health with Ascension St. Thomas. Learn more at highpointhealthsystem.com.
Looking to make a difference in Franklin County? The Franklin County Prevention Coalition works every day to build a safer, healthier community, free from substance misuse. Through education, outreach, and strong local partnerships, they empower parents, schools, and leaders to prevent addiction and support positive choices. From youth programs to community events, the coalition is here for you. Learn more or get involved today at fcpctn.org. Together, we prevent.
This project is funded under a grant contract with the State of Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
You're listening to the starting lineup, fueled by Loco Coffee, on ESPN Radio 1340, 1069, WCDT, Winchester.
All right, wrapping up hour number one here on the starting lineup. ESPN Radio 1340, 1069, WCDT, Winchester. Joe Abraham alongside Chewy. Rob Kortner coming up in the next hour. Got some comments in the chat. I'm not going to read that one, Jeff, the first part of it. Fuller nor Keller would approve what went out yesterday on social media. I agree with that. Sherry's son says, it matters. I have not made my mind up yet. I want to know why they want my vote. What is the future for FC? Make my vote matter. Here's the other thing, and this is when I say, that the impact that the supporters for either campaign make is going to determine who wins this thing. Let me explain something for you. In my mind, the most impactful, the most important opinions that you can influence if you're running for this position are those within that office, within the sheriff's department. Okay? And what I mean by that is, Chewy, if a sheriff's deputy came up to you and told you that he was going to or she was going to vote one way or the other, and the reasons why, how much weight would that carry with you?
It probably a pretty significant amount.
Yeah, because that's somebody directly within the office. Okay?
Right.
So when I tell you how important and how messed up this whole thing was, you literally just called out and embarrassed basically everybody wearing the sheriff's department badge yesterday. And those are the men and women who are now going around town. And if you think that it doesn't influence, I bet they're talking about it.
Yeah.
I bet they're telling people, you just lit a fire under them, one way or another, good or bad, for them to go around and either say good things about your candidate or bad things. And if you just took a shot at them and the job that they are doing, which one do you think that that's going to be?
Both, I think all of the sheriffs who are running or for the position, I've all said they want to keep it clean. They want to keep it respectful.
They do.
They don't want bad blood. They're just campaigning, and it's this sort of, leftover behavior from, more national elections and state elections and stuff that I think is poisonous to local races, because I think a lot of people forget that the people running are your neighbors.
Yeah. They
want this town to succeed just as much as you do. They're not these evil overlords who want power and are manipulating and pulling strings. They're people like you and I. You know what I mean?
If Charles Keller does win and takes office and then has to lead officers within that department and other supporters of his step into leadership positions within that department, You don't think that there's going to be some sort of leftover impact based on the things that you said and the things that you did to earn that position? I mean, not only are those officers, those deputies that you just ripped on in this song, pissed this morning, probably, at the people who said it, but what's to stop them from now going around and campaigning for that's not me campaigning for Tim Full. You just lit that fire.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
So take it for what it is.
Be respectful.
That's what it comes down to.
There's no reason why we can't just have a conversation about who we're going to vote for. You know what I mean?
Tell us why your guy's better, not why the other guy's worse.
Right.
Don't tear the other guy down. And both sides, the leadership is trying to do that.
Right.
Which means that it's on the supporters to follow through and fall in line with the leadership. All right. Handsome Rob coming up next. It's his first look at the new digs. See what he thinks of it. I'm excited. We're going to shift gears. We're going to talk Chris Johnson. We're going to talk Tennessee Vols. We're going to talk a couple of things tomorrow in hour number 2. Not tomorrow. In hour number 2, coming up on the other side, that you're going to want to stick around for. It is ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
To tackle or a party to plan. Skip the stress and rent it instead at Reliable Rental in Winchester. From tools and heavy-duty machines to chairs, tables, and event essentials, they've got what you need to get the job done right. Whether it's work or a weekend celebration, Reliable Rental makes it easy. Stop by 2433 Deckard Boulevard in Winchester or check out everything they offer online at ReliableRentalFC.com. Reliable Rental. When you need it, they've got it.
The 4th of July is about more than fireworks. It's about taking pride in the country we call home and the people who help keep it strong. The workers, the makers, the problem solvers, the ones who show up, figure it out, and get the job done. As America celebrates 250 years, Powers Machine hopes your holiday is full of gratitude, pride, and time well spent with the people who matter most. Happy 4th of July from Powers Machine. This 4th of July, as America marks 250 years, Bennett's Pharmacy hopes the day gives you something worth holding on to. A quiet moment of gratitude, a conversation with someone you love, a reason to smile, a reminder that freedom is a gift and so is good health. However you celebrate, take care of yourself and the people around you. From Bennett's Pharmacy, have a safe, healthy, and happy 4th of July.
Your floors set the tone for your entire home. Whether you're updating a single room or giving your entire house a fresh new look, trust the team with more than 30 years of flooring experience. Discount Floors and More offers luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, tile, carpet, and professional installation backed by a workmanship warranty. Visit their showroom on the Bypass in Winchester or find them on the web at discountfloorsandmoretn.com. Discount Floors and More, transforming homes one floor at a time.
Why choose More Courtney Funeral Home? Well, they're a 5th-generation funeral home taking care of the people of Franklin County since 1905. They're committed to serving you, dedicated to providing personalized, professional, compassionate service to help lighten your burden and help you out during these difficult times. More Courtney Funeral Home, 300 First Avenue Northwest in Winchester, 967-2222. More Courtney Funeral Home.
I'm Kristen Abraham, curator of Abraham Art Gallery right on the square in downtown Winchester. Looking for something unique? Every month brings a new featured artist, original art to inspire and share with the community. Come in, explore, and discover art that's ready to go home with you today. Whether you're redecorating, collecting, or just need something that sparks joy, this is your place. We're open Tuesday through Saturday. Find us on Instagram and Facebook.
You're listening to
Visit
ESPN Radio 1340
abrahamgallery.com
AM,
or stop by at
WCDT,
106
and
North High
106.9
Street.
FM,
Never-
W295 AV Winchester, Southern Middle Tennessee sports leader. Broadcasting live from the ESPN Radio Winchester studio, it's the starting lineup. Now, here are your hosts, Joe Abraham and Chewy.
Back here for hour number 2 on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340, 106.9 WCDT Winchester. Joe Abraham and Chewy now joined in studio by handsome Rob Kortner. Let's pause for production, Chewy. There he is.
When the final whistle blows and the last note of Rocky Top fades into the night, he's still standing. Funeral director by trade, balls fanatic by fate, he walks the line between this world and fourth down. He is Robert Kortner.
Handsome Rob in studio with us. How are you, my friend?
Good. How are you guys?
I am tremendous. Chewy is in there. I can see what Chewy's working at. So we've got a screen that shows like the feed and all the other things that Chewy's working on. So I can see what he's working on. I know that he's heavy in it right now. Trying to set up a new shot thing for us. We're still getting into this like comfortability of the new layout, the new setup and stuff like that.
I love it. I feel like
Yeah?
I'm like behind the scenes at Sports Center.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because like you said, I could see everything he was doing before.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is like how they make the weatherman look cool.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Well, and what's really funny too is like you look at the screen, we can see the screen, and it's the magic of, video production or radio production. In this case, we look at the screen and it looks like all fancy and things like that. But when you pull back the curtain, if people were to see the disaster that this place is,
hey, it's all about how it looks.
That's what I'm
TV.
saying.
It's all about how it looks on TV. So,
So yesterday, again, joined by Rob Kortner in studio. I gotta admit, Rob, that Chris Johnson story and that interview hit me harder than I expected. Which, by the way, I like your hat.
Thank you.
It's a very, very nice hat.
Very sporty.
So there was talk about why he would be joining, and he's been kind of he kind of faded out of public view here in recent years. But there was talk as to why he was going to be joining Michael Strahan for that interview, and that it might have something to do with a health-related issue. I was absolutely shocked. Like, my mouth was hanging open when I was watching that interview. He revealed that he's been diagnosed with ALS. It's to the point where he literally has to use a machine to communicate. This is the guy, and especially your generation too. I mean, growing up, the fastest guy in the league, Tennessee Titan, great, just all-time legend. I'm still, I don't know how to process from a fan standpoint seeing that guy at such a young age be in that state. What was it like for you seeing that as a
Yeah, I mean, you
fan?
said it. I mean, I grew up idolizing this guy, and to me, his era is the last time, to me, the Titans were the Titans.
Right.
I mean, I just really kind of got used to the Vrabel idea, and then we kind of had that rug kind of taken out from under us. But yeah, I mean, no offense to Derrick Henry, but to me, Chris Johnson is the most electric and best running back in franchise history.
Yeah.
That's just who I grew up watching, and to me, the way Chris Johnson could just take over a game just on a simple handoff was just unbelievable. And to see him go through that at such a young age, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
and so fast. Like
oh
I mean,
my gosh.
I feel like he was doing a couple podcasts with Lindell White, not too long ago. I feel like, and just to see him go downhill that fast, it's super sad, and not just for him, but for his family as well, wife and kids. And
it, for folks who look back at Titans history, you think Eddie George, obviously Derrick Henry, but Chris Johnson, to me, stands out as the one guy who it felt like every time he got the ball, he could be gone.
Yeah.
And it was the same way if you played him in Madden or whatever, it was the same way in the game. He was so fast, so shifty, he could do things. And then when he put his foot in the ground and got north and south, goodness gracious. I mean, he could rip off an 80-yard touchdown before you even realized he was through the line of scrimmage. And the thing that struck me about the conversation yesterday was he talked about how he can't pick up his daughter. He was having issues, or there was something to do with the birthday party, and that's when he realized that there might be something wrong, and now it's to the point where he can't even lift a cup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, just to go downhill that fast, I mean, just
within a year.
Yeah.
The other thing it immediately brought up feelings of is, like, you talk about the Tim Shaw thing, but the Steve McNair and the Frank Wycheck situations, I mean, they've had some tragedy as far as the Titans go. McNair, obviously, I think he was like 36 when he was killed. Wycheck, who I knew Wycheck not just from his time at the Tennessee Titans, but from his time at 104.5 The Zone. When I worked up in Nashville, he was a big staple within their on-air presence.
And he was great with Mike Keith when he did the color analyst
a
few years ago.
And then, he passed away in 2023. I just, not having the exposure to him and seeing him go downhill, what was shocking about it is, the last time we saw him, he seemed fine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what stands out to me about it. And mentally, he says that, he's the same person. That's one of the things that he says in his comments yesterday, if you watch the interview. But I can't imagine. Obviously, he is the same person, but I can't imagine the perspective that he's got now.
Yeah.
It's just devastating to watch. A hero become a super. I mean, he was literally a superhero on the football field. Become human in that kind of way.
And one thing I've always respected about him and his career too, I feel like a lot of these guys, even when they retire, they kind of still crave the attention. I thought he did a really good job of when he was done, he was done.
Yeah.
And he kind of used that time to focus on family, and I'm sure looking back, he's super glad he did that, with the current situation. But yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys when you retired, he just didn't hear from. So
yeah.
I think he's going to look back and appreciate that he did take that time to focus on family as well.
Oh yeah, I think that also, when you talk about some of the greats of all time, one of the things that we talk about is it's a question that always comes up, what era would this guy be successful in? Would he be the same in today's NFL type of thing?
Probably be even better.
Yeah, this is the type of guy who in today's NFL, I mean, he and you could put him in any era and he would be just absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, no offense to Derrick Henry, because he's great, but Henry, to a point, you almost have to get him going.
Right.
And he's better after each and every carry.
Yeah.
Like you said, I mean, that 2008 season, it was almost like how many 50-yard plus touchdown runs is this guy going to have? 'Cause every time he got the ball, you were thinking 6.
Yeah.
And especially if he got to the outside, it was over.
Yeah, people will tackle Henry on the first, 5 carries, first 10 carries, maybe in the first 15. But when he gets to like number 16, that's when they're like, okay, I'm tired of this.
But these days of like more bubble screens and stuff like that, I mean, like really open up the playbook. I mean, Chris Johnson, I mean, it would have been the sky the limit.
Yeah, and guys like him and Marshall Faulk and stuff like that who, could get them the ball in space and watch what they could do. I mean, they're what set the tone for the way that the NFL is now. I mean, a lot of those types of plays.
And most of that was from under center.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Faulk had Warner and Chris Johnson had the majority carry Collins, but, a little bit of Vince Young there. But even then with Vince Young, you didn't see the sets that you see now with RPOs and things like that could have really opened up the field for Johnson. Yeah. Like you said, he probably would have been better.
I think that you mentioned something, too. That was the last kind of feeling of the Titans being the Titans. That's before they started messing with the uniform and all the things. To me, it does feel like he was the last vestige of Tennessee Titans greatness.
Yeah, because you had Keith Bullock, Samari Roll, just all those greats. Kyle Vanden Bosch, the curse, the freak, he came back, for that last run too. I mean, and then that 2008 season too just always sticks out to me. That, they started out 10-0 and ended up getting beat first round of the playoffs by a kid named Joe Flacco.
Yeah,
that we didn't know then, but yeah, that era just to me is the last Titans were the Titans to me. So
I don't know too much about ALS. Chewy, from your standpoint, do you know anything about the disease or like what it is, how it progresses and all that type of stuff?
I think it's the one that Stephen Hawking had or something similar, where it's just a degeneration of your muscles and you become very, very weak.
Yeah.
And but I think it also has something to do with like it solidifies the muscles or something like that, where you get locked into position.
Ugh.
It calcifies, so you can't move. So it's like you sort of get trapped.
Oh my gosh. The other like thing about it is how quickly it, we talked, it only took like a year. I look back on his time in the NFL, and one of the things that always comes to mind is him sitting on the bench after ripping off an 80-yard touchdown, and he's like shaking his head.
I was about to say, he used to have that little twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of me was like thinking that it had something to do with that, but they said that it was only just diagnosed. But it was almost like, I remember people asking, like, does he have a form of Tourette's or something like that, where he's got this tick or whatever? Because he would shake his head. But no, they say that it's like a spontaneous onset type of thing, and it didn't run in his family or anything like that. But man, just I am still in absolute shock after seeing that. All right, so speaking of health, when we come back, Chaz Coleman had some mental health issues that turned into some other things that have essentially led him to, I believe, leave Tennessee completely. We'll get the breakdown from Rob Kortner on the other side. And then we tasked Rob with a challenge to name his top 10 rivals of the Tennessee Vols of all time. We'll see what list he came up with. But when we come back, we'll figure out what happened. We had this guy come in a transfer portal. He was supposed to be an all-world end, and next thing you know, we're stuck holding the bag for Chaz Coleman. It is the starting lineup. This is ESPN Radio 1340, 106.9 WCDT Winchester.
Feeling under the weather? Need a quick checkup or urgent care? Look no further than Complete Express Care in Winchester. Our expert medical team is here to provide fast, reliable care when you need it most. From minor illnesses and injuries to lab tests and x-rays. No appointment necessary. Visit us today at 1211 Dinah Shore Boulevard in Winchester or call us at 931-967-6669. Complete Express Care. Your health, our priority.
This Larry from Shelby, previously on the Paul Feinbaum Show.
You know what, Chris? Let me tell you something. Why don't you go catch your breath before commenting on somebody else's? And hacksaw Tuscaloosa Jim Duggan. you shut up because I could strike you out blindfolded, pitching underhand with both arms tied behind my back.
Okay, why don't we take a break? I'm pretty exhausted.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and on the SEC network. From the 931 Go Weather Center, it's time for an ESPN Radio Winchester weather update, presented by Bennett's Pharmacy.
Be prepared, everybody. It's going to be a very, very hot day today. A high of 95 degrees, but our heat index values are going up all the way to 104. There's going to be some light, calm wind, but otherwise very, very hot. Stay safe and stay tuned to ESPN Radio Winchester.
At Bennett's Pharmacy in Winchester, we're more than a pharmacy. We're your partner in health. Conveniently located at 1201 Dinah Shore Boulevard, we're here to serve you with fast, friendly, and personalized service. Need prescriptions filled? Looking for over-the-counter products? We've got you covered. Plus, enjoy local delivery and expert advice from our caring team. Call us today at 931-967-2777 or stop by Bennett's Pharmacy at 1201 Dinah Shore Boulevard today.
Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio, 1340, 1069 WCDT, Winchester. Joe Abraham, Chewy, along with Rob Kortner. Katie dropped hers in the lake the other day, and there are those guys that go and they get it, but she had so many cracks and other things like that. I don't think it was waterproof anymore. But it got me to thinking, Chewy's got a little bit of a background in diving.
I do.
Did not know that.
So if you ever drop like a donut or something like that in the lake, he'll go get it for you. I'm sorry, I hadn't picked on you all day.
No, it's all right. No. We needed it for this episode.
Well, it depends what kind of donut, I guess. For me, if I was even thinking about it.
It's a good question.
Oh yeah.
Okay, what kind of donut do you like?
I just original Krispy Kreme.
Really? Just a glaze.
Original glaze.
All right.
See, this is why me and Rob need to start hanging out more.
Yeah.
Is because we are on the same wavelength, my friend. 100%. I'm looking at Rob through the screen.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to talk to you through there.
And it's I could like
you can just
I'm looking
barely
at the wall.
Yeah. I can just barely see Rob through the wall.
We may have to shift us up a little bit so that we can get a.
That's a good idea. I can look at the screen and see you.
Yeah,
that's yeah.
Hi, Rob.
Yeah, I see you.
We got to figure out our 3-person layout. I don't hate that one that you've got.
Yeah,
that's kind of neat.
It was we'll work on it.
Yeah,
I'll see. I was thinking about maybe going originally to the Blades, but tell us on the FMO Facebook stream. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Let me know. It's not gonna hurt my feelings.
I think I'm too big. I think that I feel like it's
Feel
unfair.
a little too
that
important.
I feel like it's unfair that I'm so large and you guys get the little half screens.
Okay.
All right. Not that it doesn't fuel my ego, but I am. So I like the original two. They would probably be my second. I'm weird. So my favorite is the custard filled ones.
Oh yeah.
I'm out
with the chocolate on top.
No.
Yeah.
I like a classic donut. Just that's all you need.
I will say underrated the holiday ones they do.
Yeah.
With all that icing.
Yeah.
Like the Grinch ones last year were phenomenal.
I also like the white cream filled ones. I like the cream filled ones. I don't know. I'm like a kid.
It's too much for me.
Way too much sugar.
Well, yeah. I think that's part of the problem though with it is you eat one of those and you're like, oh, I'm gonna be sick.
Yeah, it's shocking where I fit every stereotype. Listen, I'll murder some donuts, okay?
Yeah.
But it's by the third donut where you're like, oh, I have made a huge, huge mistake.
No, you just commit to it and you push through.
All right, yeah, we'll see. Different approaches. I'm gonna have a donut hangover.
It's like you and I eating a full pizza yesterday, just sitting at the office. All right, so
it's good times. Y'all laugh, but that's good times.
Rob, speaking of too much of a good thing, I think that maybe that's what happened to Chas Coleman. Maybe he just got to Tennessee. It was too much of a good thing.
Yeah, I just love Knoxville so much. It just brought back a head injury that apparently lingered for that long.
Okay, so let's start with, for people who don't know, who is Chaz Coleman? What was he supposed to be? And what happened? Walk us through the whole scenario.
So Chaz Coleman, I believe on On3 was the #1 defensive player in the portal over the offseason. Had a nice freshman season at Penn State. Followed Jim Knowles to Tennessee, his defensive coordinator that he had at Penn State. Tennessee beat out Ohio State there in a race that a lot of people thought Ohio State was going to get him. And it was reported by many outlets that it was around $2 million was the contract that he signed. I do want to caution fans. I've seen on tons of things. Well, like, well, we wasted $2 million. Well, Tennessee the whole time behind the scenes was reconstructing this contract and making it worthwhile for Coleman to return to the team. However, it just wasn't in the cards. The story that they're putting out, and I know everybody can speculate what they want to, but apparently he suffered a head injury last season at Penn State. And he missed a lot of time to close the season. He only had 22 snaps in the last 6 games. I didn't realize that last season.
No, I didn't realize that.
So this injury was legit, and he did miss time with this. And apparently he thought, during the offseason it had improved. I think in January he started having more complications with it, and that's kind of when he started going AWOL.
Yeah.
I do think it's probably somewhere in the middle. I think it's probably a little bit of both because I've heard everything from he wanted a rap career to all kinds of different things.
Right.
So you just really never know. But, when you do sign the paperwork that he signed, I mean, the medical disqualification documentation, I mean, you're effectively saying and agreeing that it is medical reasons and his football career could be over. And I hate that for him because he was a tremendous talent as a freshman last year. Went right to the Big Ten and got significant playing time and proved pretty well. I think he had around 8 sacks last season. So
it's unfortunate.
Sad deal.
It's unfortunate for not just for Tennessee, but for him, to continue dealing with this. And it's tough, too, because you got fans who are disappointed and speaking out in anger and things like that. But this is a young man that, and I'm not sure, to the extent, right? But consider if he is struggling through something that has changed his life, affected his life in this way where he can't play the sport that he's very talented at and maybe very passionate about. And then he's got to deal with comments from people who just don't know. Also, you consider, where is he from? Because he's not from down here, I don't believe.
No, I think it was somewhere up north.
Yeah, I thought it was as well. And so I thought that was part of it. Part of the conversation was that he might be homesick or whatever the case is. Early on, there was speculation that that was part of the reason that he wasn't with the team or whatever the case is. But if you're going through something like that, and you have a head injury and your mind is not right and you're a 19-year-old kid, talk about how terrifying that would be if you're, a young man like that and dealing with something like that. That would be absolutely terrifying to be in a place that you're unfamiliar with, trying to figure out if anybody's been to campuses and things like that. These college campuses are huge. I just trying to process all of that at once. I don't blame the kid at all.
Yeah, and I said 8 sacks. I meant 8 tackles last season. But yeah, to touch on that, so this is where I think people have to really watch it in the NIL era,
right?
Because I think it's gotten to where who's offering the most money, and I think it's still on the kids and the families to let the kids go through the process and find the culture that fits them correctly and their personality. And even for them to develop their skills for the next level. I'm not saying that's what happened with Chaz Coleman, but you look at some of the situations that have happened with just Coleman here, if you want to speculate on it. Even the Sorsby kid at Texas Tech, I think it's put on the schools, too, to do your due diligence. Just because On3 or ESPN says this kid's great and he had a great season last year, you still need to do the homework and really get to know these guys.
Yeah.
Because you don't have much time in that portal to do that. But I think and I'm going to brag on Rick Barnes any chance I get, but look at what Rick Barnes has done in the portal. He consistently finds guys that fit his culture, not just the best ones on the court, but they're able to come right in and fit in that culture. It's very important that these schools are able to do that.
And I think that you hit on something there, because that's exactly what Indiana has done as well, and now they did so by keeping some of the guys there and building a culture. But the culture is more important to me and seemingly to winning than is maybe the talent. When we talk about the NIL era, if you can figure out a way to balance the two and get the guys in that also carry with them the same culture, then you're really winning. But building that culture to me is more important than just building a roster of really talented guys. Now, if Coleman ends up a month from now at Ohio State University because he, graduated from Warren G. Harding High School in Warren, Ohio, well, that's something else that, maybe I'll revoke all the nice things that I said about not blaming him and things like that.
I'm anxious to see what happens.
Yeah.
And I don't know, with that medical disclosure, I don't know the full details. I don't even know if he can play this season.
Right.
So that'll be interesting to see as well.
All right, so shifting gears, and when we come back, we'll get more into this. But I tasked you a couple of weeks ago with a challenge of making a list of your all-time most hated rivals as a Tennessee fan.
This was really hard.
Yeah?
Like, I've got 12 honorable mentions. There's just so many people I don't like.
Yeah. Well, so I guess to start with, maybe tell us how you determined who would be on your list, what maybe the common thread was, and then from there, rip through some of those honorable mentions.
Yeah, so it ended up being a lot more coaches towards the top of the list than I thought it would be. There are a few players on there, but as I got to building the list, I was trying to not just think like the whole fan base,
right?
Even all sports, like mixed together, and I even almost kind of combined it nationally a little bit in a way. But some of my honorable mentions: Will Muschamp, former Florida and South Carolina coach. We just never could beat that guy, and his teams were terrible at Florida, and we still couldn't beat him.
Yeah.
Charles Woodson for winning Peyton's Heisman. Houston.
I like that one.
Yeah. That one almost made the list. Houston Nutt at Arkansas.
Nobody likes Houston Nutt.
No. Brandon Spikes.
Okay.
Linebacker for Florida.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just that was kind of Urban's earlier Gators, and that guy just really rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
I remember Urban's first trip to Neyland and just annihilating us, and so not a Spikes guy. Cadillac Williams, Auburn. We were. Not a lot of people remember that recruitment, but that's when I really kind of started getting into all that stuff, and we were supposed to have that guy. We thought we were getting him, and last minute goes to Auburn. Didn't win a national championship, but goes undefeated, and they don't have the chance to win the national championship. But in 2004, I remember we were clawing back in that SEC championship game, and just second half Cadillac, we just couldn't stop him. And Ronnie Brown was the other running back on that team, really good backfield.
Yeah, those two were a great 1-2 punch.
I put Purdue basketball as a whole, but Zach Edey, the 7-footer, in particular, I just remember, that was Dalton Connect's team we got put out by Purdue in the Elite Eight there. He could do WWE wrestling moves on guys and not get called, and then we could breathe on him, and that wasn't just against Tennessee; it was his whole season, and then of course Grant Williams' 2019 team, we have a phantom foul call against Purdue. So pretty much if we play Purdue in the tournament,
no good.
We're getting beat. Marshall Henderson, Ole Miss basketball. You remember him? He was he was like early 2010s. The guy that every time he hit a three would put a fin up on his head.
Okay.
If you don't remember, go watch highlights. Most annoying guy ever. And that was when Ole Miss was doing the fins thing.
Yeah.
And
Fins up, Chewy. Fins up.
Yeah. Greg McElroy. He almost made the list too. I didn't really dislike Greg playing, but the analyst stuff, he took some shots at Vitello there before he left. And, not a McElroy fan anymore. Kim Malarkey, obvious reasons. More, and it's not as much to LSU, but back to the Baylor days when we used to face her in the Final Four a lot. Dave Van Horn, Arkansas baseball. We had a little rivalry there with Vitello. Bear Bryant. I feel like I just had to put Bear Bryant as the first honorable mention. I wasn't alive for his era, but how could you not hate that guy?
Yeah.
I mean, just because he kind of built Bama football to what we know it is. So there's my honorable mentions.
All right, when we come back, we'll get into his top 10. It's a heck of an honorable mentions list, so I'm excited to see who actually made the list. We'll do that next with handsome Rob Kortner in studio with us on the starting lineup. ESPN Radio 1340, 1069, WCDT Winchester.
Summer is here, and it's the perfect time to refresh your home with hot deals from Furniture Merchandise Outlet in Tullahoma. Whether you're upgrading your living room, bedroom, dining room, or finding the perfect mattress, FMO has stylish furniture at prices your wallet will love. Visit Furniture Merchandise Outlet today at 105 North Jackson Street in Tullahoma, or shop anytime at FMOTN.com. Make your house feel like summer all year long with FMO.
This 4th of July, there will be plenty worth celebrating. Freedom, family, fireworks, and 250 years of America. But before the day gets going, here's a simple reminder from TC Simmons Insurance. Drive safe, grill safe, watch the weather, and keep an eye on the people around you. The best holiday is the one where everybody gets home safe. From TC Simmons Insurance, have a safe, smart, and happy 4th of July.
This is ESPN Radio Winchester, where Franklin County comes to life. From local news and athletics to everything in between, we're proud to bring you the stories that matter right here at home. And it's all made possible by local businesses connecting with real people in our community every single day. When you support them, you support our local coverage. Over 75 years of Franklin County heritage. Want your business to be a part of it? Contact WCDT today. ESPN Radio Winchester. Franklin County plays here.
It's time for a local news break from the 931 Go News Center.
An investigation by the Estill Springs Police Department has resulted in a lengthy prison sentence in a 2025 burglary and arson case. Charles Leon Tressel has pled guilty to 2 counts of aggravated burglary and 2 counts of attempted aggravated arson. Following his guilty plea, Tressel was sentenced to serve 20 years in the Tennessee Department of Corrections. Police say the conviction stems from a series of incidents investigated last year. Chief Matthew Baker praised the work of fire investigator and officer Clint Grant, Sergeant Ashley Murphy, and prosecutors with the 12th Judicial District, saying their dedication and investigative efforts helped secure the successful outcome and hold a dangerous offender accountable. Meanwhile, aviation enthusiasts are invited to celebrate Independence Day at Winchester Municipal Airport. EAA Chapter 699 will host its monthly pancake breakfast on Saturday, July 4th at the Winchester Airport. Organizers are inviting both local residents and visiting pilots to stop by for pancakes and coffee. The event is weather permitting and is held on the first Saturday of each month. Airport officials remind visitors that the main terminal remains closed during the ongoing restoration project. Those driving to the airport may park near the terminal and walk across the ramp or enter through the gate to the left of the terminal and park at the EAA building. Fuel services remain available throughout the construction period. Airport officials also remind pilots that runway 1836 remains open during daylight hours, although nighttime operations continue to be affected by a temporary lighting issue while repairs are underway. Visitors are encouraged to check current flight information before arriving. For more details on these stories and more, visit 931go.com. Stay informed and stay connected to your community with ESPN Radio Winchester.
When it comes to caring for your loved ones, choose a name you can trust. Inhabit Home Health in Winchester, located at 2068 Cowan Highway. We're here to provide compassionate professional care right in the comfort of your own home. From skilled nursing to therapy services, our team is dedicated to helping you or your loved ones achieve the best quality of life. Call Inhabit Home Health today at 931-967-0633 to learn more about our personalized care plans.
We had a plan, and then the microphones came on. You're listening to the starting lineup on ESPN Radio 1340, 1069, WCDT Winchester.
Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340, 1069, WCDT Winchester. Joe Abraham, Rob Courtner, Chewy, all together back in the new palatial digs.
What does that mean, palatial?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I've heard it before. It sounds fancy.
All right. I'll take it.
Like plush, palatial.
Sure.
I don't know.
Clutch.
No. Fancy. Comfortable.
Bougie.
Bougie Studios.
Bougie.
Broadcasting from the Bougie Studios. I like it. All right, so Rob, you said something in the break that kind of like took my breath away for a second. We're just about a month away from opening day of football season. I mean, it's coming up quickly, and no better time to talk about which teams and our rivals that we hate the most than the present. Now, I've been waiting on this list for like 2 weeks. Last time we had you in here, we mentioned doing it, and I've got a few guesses as to some of the guys that are going to be on this list, but you've already named some pretty good ones just in your honorable mentions. Let's start with number 10.
Okay, number 10, I got Steve Spurrier. And honestly, I don't hate Spurrier much as most people do.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he's so low on your list.
Yeah, I know a lot of people think he'd be higher, but I love watching his teams play. Like, even though it was at Florida, I love that style of offense, that kind of innovative style. He kind of, to me, changed the SEC. And in a way, when Heupel came in, obviously it wasn't as sustained longer. And it's hard to compare now, but in a way, when Heupel came into Tennessee, I kind of thought I saw similarities in the style of like the way that the game was changed there a little bit for a few years, when the way Tennessee was playing offense. Of course, Heupel wasn't the smart bleep, that Spurrier was.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. Spurrier would say stuff, but he could back it up. Like all the fun he had, making fun of Tennessee fans. You can't spell citrus without UT. All that, he could back it up. So I guess I was always probably more jealous and envious of Steve Spurrier in those teams, and I guess hate, because I kind of rooted for him when he went to South Carolina. I kind of had a different feel.
I think looking back on it, now it may have been different at the time. He was probably public enemy number one, but looking back on it, what Tennessee and Florida did in the mid-'90s for the SEC cannot be appreciated enough at this point.
Yeah, because if that was the playoff era, there were like a 4 or 5 year run. Both of those teams would have been in even a 4-team playoff.
Yeah.
They would have usually been in that 4-team playoff by the end of the season. And whoever won that game, it was usually played, second, third week in September. Whoever won that game was going to win the East.
Yeah.
In those years. So, yeah. And I guess he kind of was responsible for making that a rivalry. So I guess I've always kind of got respect for that, because before then, Florida wasn't that much of a rivalry.
Right. All right, number 9.
Number 9, I got Kirby Smart. I feel like the NIL era has kind of toned him down a little bit. But, I mean, he played for Georgia. He still talks about an interception they had against Peyton and all that crap. We've only beat him one time. Ironically, with Butch Jones as head coach, is the only time we've beat Kirby. And he used to help Alabama win national championships.
There it is.
So, yeah. So that's kind of, you hit a lot of check marks there, Kirby. Number 8, I have Terrence Cody. I think we talked about him last time I was on. But
old Mount Cody.
I mean, the guy couldn't pass a physical, but somehow blocked 2 kicks that game in 2009 that led to a 12-10 loss.
Well, and Tennessee fans will they will all argue that he took his helmet off before that final second.
I actually saw what's the guy that does the Alabama videos, like used to be like, "Go on, Jalen."
Jermaine something or another.
So somebody, I guess a Tennessee fan brought that game to his attention and was like, "You need to go back and look at it. There's still 1 second when he takes the helmet off." And and he pulled it up and he was like, "Bama fans,
it's pretty close.
There was still 1 second on the clock right there." He's like, "But I didn't call it." So, staying with the Alabama trend here, at number 7, I have A.J. McCarron.
Okay.
I think my biggest problem with this guy was he thought he was like Tom Brady good, and he was a nice college quarterback. I think he's the only BCS era quarterback to win back-to-back national titles. But let's be honest, especially the 2012 team, but those teams were so good. I mean, he didn't have to reinvent the wheel to be super successful at Alabama during that time. And I don't know, like the whole. I think he just thought he was just the coolest guy ever, you know. And then Musburger brings up his girlfriend at the time, who was just, you know, probably top 20 beautiful women in the world, you know. And then you're just like, God, I hate that guy. You know? You know? I mean,
just the hits keep on coming.
Yeah. I mean, he just was so unlikable to me, and to me, just really didn't fit that Alabama system to me that like Saban really pushes. Like, I feel like McCarron would have been one of those guys. I think he wanted to be Johnny Manziel. Somebody couldn't stand it. You know, like he wanted the attention and just wasn't the caliber of player to get that.
Yeah. Okay. Number 6.
Joakim Noah.
I was waiting for him.
Yes.
I am not even a Tennessee fan, and I hate Joakim Noah.
Yeah, and so like I remember those Billy Donovan teams, like before they went back to back, like I remember him, and I remember just like seeing him and just not liking him instantly. There was something, but he didn't do anything really till they won that national title in 2006.
Yeah.
And then like when he went on everybody's campus, I mean, he was just the worst.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was this stuff he did like that caused it. I think that, you know, teams got him riled up as well, but he just didn't handle it very well.
Right.
And talking about not fitting culture, he super didn't fit Billy Donovan's cultures, but he handled the villain role well. And Tennessee basketball at the time was getting. That's when Bruce Pearl was there. We were getting hyped up. I still remember the 2006 game in January where we beat them and Florida was undefeated. I'll never forget that game. Dane Bradshaw hit a layup to win it. But I guess that was kind of when I was getting into Tennessee basketball, and he was like the first villain I can remember against my team. You know, there were other villains in college basketball, but I didn't realize we had a men's team until Bruce Pearl. So, yeah, he's the highest. He's the highest player on my list.
Really?
He is.
All coaches the rest of the way.
Yes.
Chewy, you got something on the Facebook?
It says Mitchell Foster jumps in saying Brent Musburger TV commercial about AJ.
Oh, TV
McCarron.
comment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or TV comment. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Always gave me a good laugh.
Yeah, it is. I mean, what did he say? He said, kids, go get your dad and get the pigskin out and learn how to throw it or something.
Musburger was a trip.
Yeah.
All right, number 5.
Number 5, I have Nick Saban.
Again, kind of surprised that he's that high.
So, College Game Day has helped Nick Saban's image for me. But my hate for him, like, obviously I hated the run at Alabama, but Tennessee was kind of down already then, and we did finally beat him there at the end, so I guess it was kind of more of a relief thing, but I still hate he killed that 2001 Tennessee team's national championship chances.
Right.
That one to me is just kind of unforgivable. Because if Tennessee wins the 2001 SEC championship against LSU, I mean, we were like a 16-point favorite in that game. And LSU's quarterback goes down, their starting quarterback, and a guy named Matty Mock, who played for the Green Bay Packers after that, but he comes in there as a backup, and then they come back and beat us. And I don't know if they'd beat that 2001 Miami team, but Tennessee would have a shot at the national championship in 2001 if they win the SEC championship against Saban's LSU Tigers.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's going to beat Miami that year, but yeah, that's a good point. All right, number 4.
Number 4, I have John Calipari, and he probably would be number 1 if he had not left / get run out of town at Kentucky, because, I mean, you talk about I hated that guy at Kentucky. And also going back to his Memphis days, people forget, you know, Tennessee fans have extra hate for Calipari because of his Memphis days. And that was when Tennessee was getting going, and one of the greatest games in Tennessee sports history when Calipari had number 1 Memphis and Tennessee was number 2 there. Tennessee beat him. But, yeah, so he's kind of – I got a little bit more love for me now that he's at Arkansas, because I'm kind of finding myself rooting for him because I think it's funny that if he goes to Arkansas and does good, like it's just a jab at Kentucky. So that's why he's not number one on my list, because I'm actually rooting for the guy now.
He's one of those guys who I just can't find myself pulling for ever, and there are certain guys like that, but there aren't many that I just, every time I see them, it makes me like I have a visceral reaction to them. I can't stand him. And I don't really have a reason why. I just don't like him. Yeah,
and what he did that first like Big Blue Madness thing, when he had John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins, and he got Drake out there and put him in the layup warm-up lines, and then he's doing like a mic drop out there. I mean, it just made me want to vomit watching him do this. And yeah, but as I said, he would be number one if he was still at Kentucky for me.
All right, top three.
Number three, I have Lane Kiffin. I mean, kind of a no-brainer here. Another one that I kind of find myself halfway rooting for at Ole Miss, and now that he did them the same way, and it's just turned into this SEC villain. I feel like just now everybody hates him.
Yeah,
and like I think LSU fans within a few years are going to hate him, because we were talking earlier about culture and just spending money. I think he's hitting the blueprint of what not to do.
Yeah,
I think he's just going to go out and spend as much money as he can, and you're not really going to deep dive. I really don't know what you'd call his culture, but I don't think it's sustainable at a program. I think he has good teams. I don't think he has a good program. And even at Ole Miss, it was just really built kind of like on transfers. And
right.
It just wasn't sustainable, even what he was doing there.
I have a feeling that Lane Kiffin could end up ultimately being the most hated college football coach of all time.
Yeah.
By the time all is said and done.
Yeah.
Here's a guy who's literally never accomplished anything.
No.
And
that's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved him when we had him for the year. It was the most fun 7-6 season we've ever had, and that sums up Lane Kiffin to me. Like, yeah, it was fun, but we went 7-6.
Yeah. And I think that they could have. I do think that he can win games. He's just never stuck around to get it to the point where they win the game.
I agree.
All right, number two real quick, and then we'll come back and wrap it up with your most hated of all time.
All right, number two is Urban Meyer. And I think most Tennessee fans would think this is where Spurrier would be. But for me, it's the opposite because, as I said, Spurrier kind of kicked your butt and made fun of you, but Urban Meyer was just a scumbag doing it. I mean, those teams that he had, Aaron Hernandez.
There's no respect for him.
Yeah, no. I mean, and I had Spikes earlier on my list, and I mean, and he's so scumbaggy. He did, went through this thing at Ohio State with that whole scandal, and then he goes to Jaguars, and it's just a total disaster. He's just not a good dude, and he was at Florida, and we never beat him. So, yeah.
Well, when we come back, we'll get your most hated all time. We'll see who number one is next. It is a starting lineup with handsome Rob Kortner in studio. This is ESPN Radio 1340, 1069, WCDT Winchester.
If your life depended on the mission succeeding, what would you care about? Would you care about the demographics of the crew? The moon does not care about your politics, doesn't care about your hashtags. It does not care about where you lie on social media arguments. It doesn't care whether you're male or female or black or white or rich or poor or conservative or liberal or religious or atheist or anything else, because reality does not negotiate. It just is. You can disagree with the facts, but they don't care about your feelings. It is a starting lineup. Thank you for tuning in. This is ESPN Radio Winchester.
Farmers, gardeners, and homeowners. Franklin Farmers Co-op in Winchester is your one-stop shop. From top quality feed and seed to fencing, equipment, and even pet supplies. We have everything you need to keep your farm or home running smoothly. Our knowledgeable team is here to help you every step of the way. Stop by Franklin Farmers Co-op, conveniently located at 2229 Deckard Boulevard, or give us a call at 931-967-5511. Franklin Farmers Co-op, rooted in your success, growing with your community.
The future of healthcare starts here. The Southern Tennessee Regional Health System, Winchester and Suwannee, are joining the High Point Health System with Ascension St. Thomas, a health network serving communities across the state. We're working together to expand access, improve clinical quality, and keep you close to home throughout your care journey. Your favorite providers aren't going anywhere. It's the same care you know and trust, now with a new name, High Point Health with Ascension St. Thomas. Learn more at highpointhealthsystem.com.
Hey Rebel Nation, Dr. Orr and the caring team at Winchester Family Dentistry are proud to back every Franklin County athlete this season. From first grade flossers to varsity veterans, we believe healthy smiles build confident champions. Whether you need a routine cleaning, a last minute sports card, or a full smile makeover, we've got you covered right here in Winchester. Call 931-967-4143 or visit WinchesterFamilyDentistryTN.com to schedule. Winchester Family Dentistry, keeping Franklin County smiling one game at a time.
Looking for a reliable car at an affordable price? Stop by Money Down Motors here in Decker. We specialize in quality pre-owned vehicles with low down payments and flexible financing options. No matter your credit history, drive away today with a car you'll love and a payment plan that works for you. Visit us at 1945 Deckard Boulevard or call 931-962-3404 for more info. At Money Down Motors, LLC. Your ride is waiting.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he can take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
Take the starting lineup with you wherever you go. Download the WCDT smartphone app in your Google Play and Apple App Store. Now, back to the guys.
Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester. Joe Abraham and Chewy, along with a handsome Rob Kortner, who is going through his list of top 10 most hated rivals in Tennessee Vol history.
Got Greg King jumped in the chat here saying, if Tennessee wins that 2001 SEC title, does that give Phil Fulmer a few more years?
That's a good question. I think it does.
Yeah. Because I don't think you have the drop-off as bad there either.
Yeah.
Because that would have kept, even though that was in, 3 years of the last national title, I think that just, it's
right.
so
there
important
for
the recruiting classes. It gets a whole nother era of, recruiting classes there. I'd say it at least adds, I'm going to say 4 to 6 years to his tenure there.
Yeah. Well, there's a level of consistency there, too, and what you're talking about now is a level of greatness as opposed to coming as close as he did so many times and coming up short. That's where that frustration sets in that eventually, I believe, ultimately ran him out of town to a certain extent. Now, we're up to number 1, and I think I know who it is. But you received some text messages about some folks that were left off of your list. What I love about your list, and people need to understand this, is that this is Rob's list. Okay, this isn't the every Vol fan ever. This is Rob's list of guys, and you had some guys even that could have been made it on your honorable mention list, where you're like, man, this guy he pushed one of our guys and it rubbed me the wrong way, and he almost made the list.
Yeah, I told you I could have put 30 Kentucky basketball players on there. And some of them were ones that didn't even play much, just the 10th guy on the bench down there. Just he looked at our guy wrong.
Yeah.
We shot a 3 and made it, and he looked at our guy wrong. You get on my list for that.
Yeah.
And
you got to be careful. You don't want to be on Rob's list.
I know.
Okay? Guy runs a funeral home. He knows how to make bodies disappear. I'm just saying.
I had to condense my honorable mentions here, man.
All right, number 1.
So number 1, I just think he's not just the Vols' most hated. I think he's just universally hated. It's Gino Auriemma.
Wow. That's out of left field for me. I was not expecting that.
I just think there's just no way in. So I had a couple that were close to one, and I just said, "Is there any time I've ever rooted for that guy?"
Wow.
And I said no.
So when you went through this whole thing and you said that your top guy was, your top 5 guys basically were coaches, I wrote down Billy Donovan. And when you didn't say his name, I was like, his number 1 guy is going to be Billy Donovan. And
See, I didn't mind Billy as bad. It was more Billy's teams, I guess.
Gino Auriemma. So talk about your hate for Gino, and obviously not a lot of people like Gino, but talk about that.
Yeah, so
from a Tennessee fan perspective.
Pat Summitt, late 90s there is finishing up one of the best runs in not just women's basketball history, but sports history. The run they were on was just phenomenal, and then there's just one rando guy from a smaller school up north that just comes out of nowhere, and that's Gino, and which is a great coach. Don't get me wrong. I mean, and what he's been able to do up there is just phenomenal. But just the rivalry got so intense.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell he even got under Pat's skin, and like when Pat shows that much emotion, you know. And
I did not even think of putting him on the list. That's it is a good pick.
Yeah, well, and like I said, I just don't think there's any scenario where I've ever rooted for Gino. And I think there's a lot of people, not just in Vol Nation, that would agree with that. I think there's a lot of people in the United States that would just say, I've never had a scenario where I've rooted for Gino. And what really bothers me is that he's had so many great, girls come play for him, and of course, it's just a dig at him. I've never met him personally, but just the crap that came up with Dawn Staley last year, and all that, he just seems like just a scumbag, very similar to Urban Meyer. I'm not sure he's the type of person that you'd really want your kid to go play for.
Right.
Whereas, and of course, I'm biased here. I'm talking about Pat Summitt, but
to
me, Pat was somebody I think. And Candace Parker, who just got put in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, congratulations to her. But she in her speech, really recognized Pat for all the things that she taught her, not just about basketball, but about being a person. And for that sport, women's basketball, I think, I'm not trying to be sexist here, but I think Pat's just somebody you can put up that pedestal because she also was a woman.
Yeah.
And did it in that sport where, it's just different. And the way Gino rubs people,
That's good. I like that. I mean, I was not expecting that. I guess, the women's basketball thing it didn't really come to mind as being, from a competitive standpoint, one that you would have zeroed in on like that. But to your point, and when you talk about, somebody who's done so much for the program and for the school, and the women's basketball is such an important part of that culture, built by Pat Summitt, and her number 1 rivalry being, with UConn and Gino. That's a good pick, and it did not even cross my mind. I was expecting a few guys to be on your list that weren't. I mentioned Billy Donovan. Another one, Danny Warfel. Didn't even make your honorable mention, but I like where you went. I guess my last question to you is this. Out of all of the guys that you've named, who did the most damage to Tennessee, and what could have been? Do you think it's like Lane Kiffin? Do you think it's Nick Saban? Is there somebody that stands out in your mind that's like, you know what? Not only were they like competitively bad for us, but they actually damaged us. It made it painful,
I think it'd have to be Nick Saban because, January 3rd, 2007, I used to say was the day college football got ruined. And thankfully, if NIL's done anything, it's ended that. But he to me, there for a little while, he almost ruined the SEC because it just got so dominant in a way. But in a way, he also saved the SEC because he got so dominant that everybody said, all right, we're tired of getting our butts kicked here, and we're going to do whatever it takes to get back going. But, yeah, Tennessee was trending down. The year 2007, the last year Tennessee went to Atlanta, Nick Saban came to Neyland and just put a whooping on that Tennessee team. And
yeah, I think it was at that game, actually.
Yeah, and that kind of, to me, just set the tone of what that was going to be for the next almost 2 decades. I mean, it took till 2022 on a wobbly kick that somehow got tipped and went in for us to finally get over that hump. And I think that, and even that rivalry, like nationally, that it hurt that rivalry that Nick Saban
for it to be
was
that
so
one-sided,
dominant. And I think it was last year Nick Saban actually talked about that rivalry, though. He gave it a lot of credit and said, everybody thinks Auburn's our biggest rival. He said, but in the locker room and when the guys, he said they really understood that Tennessee is arguably our biggest rival.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people forgot that, especially nationally over time, because it was so one-sided. But if you go back in history, it's always been sort of one-sided. Johnny Majors never could hardly beat Bear Bryant, and then Fulmer had Alabama's number, all those years. So it's kind of went in streaks, but it definitely was way one-sided during Nick Saban's tenure. And so I would say Nick Saban did probably the most damage to Tennessee out of all those guys on that list.
Well, good list, man.
Thank you.
Good list.
It was really hard to condense it to 10, I'll say that.
To quick recap, Steve Spurrier, Kirby Smart, Terrence Cody, A.J. McCarron, Joakim Noah, Nick Saban, John Calipari, Lane Kiffin, Urban Meyer, and Gino Auriemma at number 1.
And I had some hated SEC guys on there that
Yeah.
I could have put on there, but I wanted to keep it like Vol related.
Yeah.
So that I know there's some people scratching their heads like, why wasn't Johnny Manziel on there? Which I was actually a Johnny Manziel fan, but but he didn't do anything to Tennessee.
Right. All right. Well, that'll do it for us today on the show. I'm already thinking next time around, we're getting into it's SEC football talking season. They're going to have SEC media days coming up soon and stuff. I'm thinking we might need to go through and
it's time to start planning, man. I mean, college football,
start making our
picks.
Yeah.
It comes out in 2 days. The early release does.
Jeez.
So, I mean,
well, we'll have to start making our picks and see which teams, how many wins is Tennessee going to get this year? I don't know. Maybe next time we have you in studio, we'll do that. But, again, thank you very much. I think it's a tremendous list. Good job by you. All right, coming up on the other side, we'll have Reliable Rentals Swap and Shop with Chewy. Again, for Rob Kortner, I am Joe Abraham. Thank you to Chewy for running the show. This is the starting lineup. ESPN Radio 1340, 1069, WCDT Winchester.
On ESPN Radio.
And the lead brought to you by